Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Another story? Should we jump into a few questions?
Sure. Yeah, you can jump into some questions. I might think of another story. I
All
have
right.
some kind of interesting ones.
Yeah.
There's just one I have to share. It was on Ruby Street down in Laguna, and it was an open house that had been pretty quiet, just by putting up signs. And so this lady walked in. She seemed kind of mysterious to me, and she was not friendly at all. When I tried to approach her, she backed off. She shot in the bedroom, and I thought, this is kind of strange. I better keep an eye on this lady. You never know. So after a while, there was another couple that came in. I was talking to them and just watching her out of the corner of my eye. When the couple left, she came up to me and she had this crumpled piece of paper in her hand. And my coach is Tom Ferry. And Tom had talked me into, a couple of years ago, just sending out 10 letters to expired listings, which I'd never done before. And unfortunately, I haven't done since, but I should.
You don't have to do everything perfectly to be amazingly successful.
Well,
that's refreshing to me.
Tom loves this story because she pulled out this piece of paper that looked like it had been in her drawer, and she slammed the drawer back and forth 20 times, and it was stuck in it or something, and pulled it out, and it was that expired letter that I sent her about listing her property, and she said, "I'm interested in talking to you about listing."
Wow.
And I couldn't believe it because I thought she was going to be a neighbor that was going to yell at me for something that I didn't know what I had done yet. So it was really great.
So you never know.
You never know. You never know.
But I see how you treat everyone. Whether there's any expectation that they could ever help you or not. And obviously, it as you pointed out, it leads to amazing opportunities when you had no thought that it ever would.
Well, in this business, I think you kind of have to balance it too, because it's hard to be nice all the time. So you have to find an outlet. Like, I love spin. I get on that bike and spin like crazy. Or I love to swim in the ocean too, because there isn't any cell phones, there isn't anything. Although, except for those sharks lately, I'm a little worried about it.
They're not in Laguna. They're not in Laguna. Just Corona Del Mar, so you're good.
There's a great agent in my office that I swim with, because we do the buddy system, and he said, "Are you kidding, Shauna? There's more sharks on land than there are in water."
That's true. So right there with the buddy system, you just cut your odds in half of being attacked.
That's it.
Well, the bigger
and
the
I
group,
stay right next to him, so hopefully we look bigger in the water.
Hey, take risks.
Strategy.
That's what we do. Questions?
Any questions? Yes.
What do you
Brad,
think?
come up.
What do you think the advantage of doing, or what do you think your feelings are on open houses on Fridays, number one, and also on Saturday and Sunday, going early or staying late?
Well,
Earlier or staying later.
You want me to
on your
repeat the
first
question?
question,
You want to
on
repeat it, or
Fridays.
you want me to?
Oh, I've got it.
I know, but everybody didn't hear the question.
you want me to repeat?
Yes. Yeah.
So I
you
think
got
this. Can you hear me? Is this working?
Yeah.
So the question is, what do you think about open houses on Friday, and what do you think about opening early and staying late on the weekends, or any day for that matter?
I think Fridays is fantastic because a lot of people, they'll finish up their week and they'll come down here from LA and they'll have a couple of hours and then they'll see an open house and they'll go into it. So a lot of the agents in the office that are newer, and we have a lot of agents that have been veterans in helping us with open houses, so we try and be loyal and continue to give them the properties as well as bring in new agents. I always recommend Fridays because you do pick up traffic. You can also get a lot of work done on your phone or bring your computer, and it's really effective. You're much more effective being on that open house actually than you are to be sitting at your desk in the office, because you have people coming into you that are looking for property. On the weekends, we just pushed out our time frame from 4 to 5, and yesterday I was on an open house, or Sunday, on Marine Drive in North Laguna, and my sellers called me and they said, we're on our way home. and it was like 4 o'clock. So I knew I had to quit, turn off the lights, and go. We were scheduled for 1 to 4. And as I was pulling away, 2 cars pulled into the driveway. And I thought, oh gosh, the sellers are on their way home, and everything's all locked up and everything. But the most traffic when I was keeping a tally is from 4 to 5. And Sundays seem to be the best day, because on Saturdays everyone's running errands or going to games, or and Sunday they kind of have some time to scout around. So I think even 12 o'clock is great to start.
Great.
12 to 5.
Great information, good question. Brenda?
Yeah.
Hey Shauna, how big is your team?
I'm the only agent that does all the negotiating and sales, and then I have assistants that help me with open houses. Seema is a fantastic transaction coordinator. Here she is.
Hi, Seema.
Oh my gosh, she is such a godsend. It's absolutely incredible. And we alternate a lot of, I felt like a flipper for a while of properties, because a lot of the trusts, and I've got an REO in Emerald Bay coming up that I was surprised. It's been a while since we've seen those. But then they'll say, what does a property need? And it's kind of great, because then you can use your creative energy and get the house painted and staged and do all those kind of things, which you end up sometimes selling it for $1 million more than it would have if you didn't make those changes to it. But I need help with that. So because we're meeting painters, we're opening up the property, we're getting it staged, we're doing the landscape, and my assistants help me with that too. It's fantastic.
So notice when Shauna was asked, where does your support come from? How many people on your team? Her first response is, I have an amazing transaction coordinator. That's
Yes.
available to all of us. You don't need an employee. You need great people that you can delegate to. That's a thing of beauty. I love that. So,
It's such a godsend. Also, I remember when I first started out, when you were asking, when I was beginning, how I was able to get started, I was saying open houses.
Mhm.
But I made a grand leap of faith, and I hired an assistant. And I thought, I don't know what the assistant's going to do, because I'm not doing very much. But it was so great. Once I started generating business, then they were there in the office handling all those things that I should be out selling, or I should be out on the open houses and doing all these things where I'm in front of buyers and sellers. And hiring an assistant, that first year, I doubled my business, because we end up doing a lot of things like running signs out to properties and just picking up paperwork and doing things that an assistant can do for you.
yeah. So the business principle is be at your highest and best use. And that's where the money is made. So, good stuff. One last one, real quick.
The question.
I'll repeat the
Okay,
question.
Right, I do advertise in the
Let's repeat the question.
Oh, okay.
So, question is, do you farm? You're doing a lot of open houses so well. What else do you do? Do you farm?
It's really important if, in Newport here, I'm not sure if it's a daily pilot where you advertise your properties, but I do put the open house in the newspaper. Ours is the Independent. It goes on every driveway, and I advertise open house 1 to 4, 1 to 5. I'll put the dates on there sometimes too, so that they know, Saturday, Sunday, that type of thing. But most importantly, put it on the internet. The internet is where all our buyers go. Realtor.com still seems to be one of the favorite sites. And when it's posted on there, they don't call their agent. They go take a look at it, and if they like it, then they, call their agent to be able to work with them on it. But a lot of them just don't have the time or know what time that they can come see the property until they see it's on open house. And the high end is great, because you actually get a better response from the high end on open houses than you do some of the properties that you would think, gosh, this one should sell immediately, and then the high end one does from an open house.
Do you use social media? Do you do much with that in your work?
That's my weak area. I really have to work on social media. One of the agents said we were Facebook friends, and I've got to get on Facebook.
So are you picking up on this reality that even the very best of the best of the best in our business on the planet, frankly, I don't know if there's a handful of agents around the world that have done 50 million so far this year. Even the best of the best of the best, there's a lot of things they're not doing, but they're focusing on doing something incredibly well. I don't know about you, but that is so refreshing for me. Because I struggle with, I should be doing this, should be doing this, should be doing this, should do it. Hey, maybe not. Maybe if you focus on doing one thing fairly well, incredible things can happen. And so you're living that reality.
Well, and it's for not only your buyers and sellers, but the biggest twist of all for me was my current listings. And, sometimes you go through a phase where they say, we're thinking that we need a change. And I'm not hearing that as much anymore at all, because every week I'm touching base with them and staying in touch with them, so they don't feel that I'm not there doing the job for them. And that's actually been absolutely phenomenal.
Wow.
With the current listings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Question, do you farm?
I don't farm as much. I do a lot of marketing. Dream Homes is one of my favorite publications because it goes international. So when I'm on listing appointment, I talk about that. They're always wanting to know about our international presence and Proxio and the new Chinese company that
July.
Yeah.
Which is an amazing story. So in essence, Shauna's farming the city of Laguna Beach through open houses and advertising.
Right. That's it.
I think it's working.
And then I'll close with the last thing, that our receptionist in the office, she's so darling. She's an older lady named Mary. And she said, you agents are so wonderful. You have to deal with so many mean people. And yet there's the really nice ones too. But all real estate agents go to heaven.
I'll take that. Shall we give a very, very warm applause? Thank you, Shauna. You make us look good with every relationship, every deal. It reflects on our entire industry, certainly on our company.
Thank you. If anyone needs open houses in Lex Laguna.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're the contact.
Call me.
Thank you for coming up, as busy as you are and all that you're doing. We're honored, so thank you for being here today. Great stuff. All right, well, there's even more, because we kind of double booked and Daniel didn't get on the schedule, but Daniel is a man that I worked with 25 years ago in this business. And he was, at the time, one of the top handful of coaches in the country. And worked for, can't remember a firm you didn't work for, Daniel. But at some point, he completely fell off the radar screen. How many years ago was that?
About 8 years ago.
8 years ago, Daniel disappears. He's going to tell you. And I got a call from him about a month ago. Literally, hadn't talked to him for a decade. And so Daniel's going to share a little bit of his story. And I actually have an introduction that I'm going to lead off with. Daniel Pendley is an internationally recognized speaker, sales trainer, and a licensed real estate agent. He's listed more than 1,000 properties and successfully listed 41 for sale by owner properties in 41 consecutive attempts. That's not humanly possible. Daniel has been awarded the Realtor Top 1% designation and was nominated for Professional of the Year. And so I know we're not going to have time for the whole story, but I'm so excited that you can meet Daniel and hear a little bit of his story. And he is back coaching, and the story is amazing. So
Thank you, brother.
my friend Daniel Pendley, let's welcome Daniel.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. It is an honor and a pleasure to be with you. And part of the story is that I was paralyzed, my neck down in a horse accident. I lost my only daughter. I thought I was gone. I was out. I called my good friend Gino Laferi. How many know Gino Laferi? Okay, Gino is our COO and our president. And 27 years ago, I got to train Gino when he was in Cupertino, California. And I called Gino and I said, Gino, I said, you know what? This is what happened to me. He said, brother, he said, I can't believe it. He said, listen, what we want to do is start sharing with our offices this culture of servant-driven leaders. People who want to go out and help people and talk about their why. So I've been to over 30 Berkshire Hathaway offices. I was at Mike Bianchi's office. You know, I see my good friend Kevin Hill back that trained years ago, and Donald Poff, and the Lisa Clay team, you know, and a lot of people that I know. And Scott, we go back years. So I've been a realtor, a real estate agent, for 4 decades, and I've seen a lot of shifting in this market, and I know that you have too. What I'm seeing right now, and what I want to bring to the table before I tell my story to you, is what we put together to actually engage everybody. Everybody say membership.
Membership.
We're going to put together, and what we've done for every office, I was in Sunland yesterday with about 70 agents, a brand new Berkshire Hathaway office. We get to go around and share this story and talk to people and encourage you. And the idea is, can we really make it in this market? You see a woman, basically, basic 101, does the thing of open houses, very humble, asking questions. And I see that all the time. We trained the #1 realtors in the country. Chevy Atkinson was just somebody that just went through and 2 years ago and went to the top of the moon. I don't even want to mention all the names because I've gone through a 500,000 realtors and I've done this so many years. Today, it's about you. What the market's doing, Scott, is we have a 6 to 7% increase across the board in the United States on sales. We have 4 to 42% appreciation, which is astronomical. We have low inventory, and we have pent-up sales. And with that old Dodd-Frank Act that just came on, 48% of your buyers that qualified last year don't qualify this year. The good news is, with a 8% increase, Leonard's talking about this, we're going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.8 million properties released in the marketplace within the next year. I have to ask you a question. When would now be a good time to get ready for that release? Everybody say now.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about you. But before I get started, I want to share with you your why. Because I've got a big why. And I want to tell you something. I come back for fulfillment. I come back because I'm so grateful, you guys, and so thankful that I can walk in here and be with you, and I get to do what I love. And I love real estate, and I love helping people. You know, she talked about, you know, being humble. It's so true. My dad always said, do just, love mercifully, and walk humbly. And son, you'll never be greater than you make somebody else. So when you go out there and show people you care, you can't help but win. Let me ask you a question. What is your why? Why do you want to sell real estate? Okay? What's your why? You want to make money, right? I had one company at Rodeo Realty. I trained Sid Leibovich. He's the owner. And he said, you know, Pendley, he said, the problem with a lot of our agents, he said, that they get what we call destination disease. You know what that is? They get just enough and they quit. They go sell a $3 million property. They take that $100,000 and they quit working. But it isn't about that. It's about you serving 4 families every single month. Okay, she's not counting the money, right? It's about you being a servant-driven leader, and don't count the money, okay? Count the people you're helping. Does that make sense to everybody? So we want to build a culture. We talked about, Mike Bianchi was talking about this, and as I go to these different companies, and I was just there last week, and I remember years ago when Donald Poff used to own his company, and these guys were Coldwell Banker, and Kevin Hill had 130 agents under him. You know, we were talking about the idea of how do we serve, how do we be better? Let me just put it to you this way. Everybody here, I have 2 children, and I have 2 grandchildren. I have a grandson who's 16 years old, and I have a granddaughter, beautiful. My daughter left her to me, which is Victoria, and she's 19, okay? Do you all have children? Yeah?
Yes.
I want you to think about it, somebody you love very much. You got them in your head? Okay. You got them? Okay. Now, I'm going to take that person, and I'm going to throw them over a cliff and hang on to them on a rope. And you have got 24 hours to come and get them. Now, if you don't come and get them, they will be gone forever. Quick question. Would you do everything in your power to come and get that person, even if it meant your own life? Yes or no? Then that's your why. When you get on fire to sell real estate and help people, and it's about that, and it's not about this, that's when you become successful. Would you all agree with that basic statement? So question. if you want to do better, you've got to make a decision. My decision, 1977, was to get a job in real estate. Okay? I had two choices. I could work in a steel foundry, okay, in Dayton, Ohio, or I could sell real estate. So I studied really, really hard. And I finally passed my real estate test, Scott, after 4 times. I failed it 4 times. Okay? I was persistent. Well, I then, okay, now the quick question. Is there anybody in the business that's brand spanking new in the business? Anybody like under a year? Anybody? Oh, God bless your heart. Welcome her to the business. She doesn't know any better. God bless her. We'll talk to that woman and she'll just knock it out of the park, right? Is there anybody in the business, because I'm going back 40 years, anybody in the business, let's say, how about 2005? When we could just fog a mirror and get a loan. Who was in the business in 2005? That was a fun market, wasn't it, right? Can you do what you did in 2005 and get the same result in 2016?
No.
No, you got to shift, okay? How about this? Anybody go back as far as me and maybe Donald Pop, 1970s, right? Right, guys, what was happening?
This guy in the white shirt.
Yeah.
Ask him when he was licensed.
When were you licensed?
42.
Whoa! You're almost up there with John Vadia. John is one of my students. With that, he's 52 years. I trained him over 30 years ago. Right? What was happening, sir, in late 70s, early 80s? Okay, what was? Just go back that far. Don't go back to the 60s. Just go back to the late 70s, early 80s. That's when I got. What was going on in the market? Yep.
22%.
Yep.
Interest rate.
Ow! Did you hear that? Prime rate, listen to me, went to 22.5%. Now listen, I'm a kid. My brother signed for me a house and I bought my first home at 18. I have my real estate license and we're having kids, right? Already, right? Now listen to me. I'm now going to go sell real estate. My wife said, you can't quit the foundry. You got to go, and you got to go. You can't sell real estate. I said, no. I'm not going back in there. So I was hungry. So what I did, Donald, I went around and started knocking on doors, man. And I started begging people. I can't get you 22%, but I could get you 8. I can get you 10. I can help you with a land contractor owner financing. Remember that?
Yep.
Well, that was the market then, and the hunger and the shift. The first year, because I was so hungry, got me 157 transactions my first year in the business. Right? Now, I don't tell you that to brag. I tell you that because of this. Whether it's a good market, Zig used to tell me this as my mentor, whether it's a good market or a bad market, you are absolutely right. Are you with me? Every time you look at a marketplace, there's always a good market or a bad market. Every year for 40 years, next year, I've seen the market shift. I've seen it. And whether it's REO, bank-owned, loan mods, whatever it is, if you shift with the market, you can always make it. What if I tell you right now, as I'm going around the country now, telling offices to shift where the market is right now? Would you listen to me? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no? Yes. Would you like to know where it is? Yes or no? Yes. Here's where it is. Don't do what everybody else is doing. I want you to build a funnel. Everybody say build a funnel.
Build a funnel.
Build a funnel.
Build a funnel.
And I want you to start laying out ground fire, going and doing your open houses, the 3-foot rule, going out and placing your ads, all those little basic 101 things, okay? Bring buyers into this office. Show them the beautiful place you've got here. Go ahead, and today I have a multimedia presentation I want to give to each one of you. I have a copy of my book, The Power of the Dream. I want all of you to have a download of that. I want you to have the copy of the talk. You bring those buyers in and you show them how professional you are with your presentation. Now, after you show them how professional you are, you go ahead and say, now that you understand what I'm going to do, I'm going to have you sign a buyer-broker agreement contingent on you pre-approving. Now watch this. If they don't pre-approve, everybody say green apple basket.
Green apple.
You put them in your credit repair green apple and watch them. Are you with me? And then if they do qualify, you go ahead and say congratulations, and you pull out your little passport. Okay, yeah, it's true. You get a little passport. In the top goes your card. In the bottom goes your lender's card and your team's card, your TC, and you say, congratulations, you're with the best team in the country. Thank you very much. And now you put them in the funnel. Now watch this. If you're doing 4 presentations a week, that's 4 a week, that's 16 a month, that's 48 in the next 90 days. And if you go ahead and capture just 6 of these out of 48, what are these called? Everybody say sales. And when we're talking $2 and $3 million, we're talking the Mac Daddy. We're not talking 40,000, 400,000, 600. We're talking the best of the best. But please don't count the money, count the sales. Does that make sense? Yes or no? So I want to help you guys. Bottom line is I can help you. So what I did is I said, Gino, what I'm going to do, I went to a studio, Marvel Studio, and I shot over 100 movies for each year. So for every year it's a membership. You guys, everybody say Tuesday and Thursday. So now you listen. Tuesday and Thursdays. Starting next week on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you all, because you're part of the Berkshire Hathaway group, are going to get a movie that comes right to your email, and you get it on your smartphone, right? And you watch the movie, and it makes you accountable. Everybody say accountability. So we want you to be accountable to, why didn't I have a good month? Because you didn't do the open houses. You didn't do the thing. So this puts you on track to do it. So what I'm going to do is, rather than tell you, I'm going to show you like 2 little 1-minute movies to get you the idea, and then give you a CD of how to use them and put you on track and get you guys started. Are you with me on that? So Mel, if you're back there, everybody direct your attention. If you can't see, you'll need to kind of scooch over here a little bit. Sorry about that, but our film is right over here. And you see Scott McDonald, our famous leader here, okay? Then you see our ancillary services there around it, which we're going to be putting all of those, plugging those in. There's a credit repair around there. We'll put your TC. This is going to be launching for this office. Now, Mike has already launched, okay? And over 25 of the offices out in Orange County have already launched. So you guys, we're just getting here, and I'm so happy to be here to share this with you. So everybody, if you got an email address, you've got this. So go ahead and look at this. How it works is this. You get lessons, and if somebody goes, hey, how do I get my offers accepted? For a guy that's been in the business for 40 years, he needs different food than somebody's brand new. Somebody brand new says, where do I even find a buyer, right? So each person can have a different lesson every day. So it's not like the old Century 21 where everybody just does the same thing. You guys can pick and choose every single Tuesday and Thursday. Now, next. It simply goes onto a website where you guys are going to go. You click on it. It says, please look at your lessons. We'll have a tracking system so we can watch this with all of you. And then when you open it up, everybody say accountability. Okay. If you're accountable, that means I'm going to ask each one of you as your coach to make 4, everybody say 4, face-to-face. You know, Shauna was talking about this. Social media is great. Ground fire is great. But bottom line, what is it? Face-to-face, baby. Nothing ever has replaced that since I was a kid. So I'm going to ask you to make, out of 168 hours, 4 presentations. You put up there, I did none. I'm going to say, God bless your heart. Let me give you 4 places you can go next week. Is that a good thing? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. If you put down, I did 4, and you got nothing, I'm going to say, you're talking too much. Let me give you some techniques to help you to close better. Is that a good thing? Yes or no? At the end of the month of July, as an example, if you do 4 presentations face-to-face every week, I show you where to go, what to say, scripted. If you make 4 presentations a week, everybody in this room, and you promise me to do that, okay? How many think they can close 1 out of 16? Raise your hand, please. Okay? Okay, do me a favor. Put your hand straight out for me, would you please, everybody? Okay, here we go, right here. Got it? Put it straight out. Okay, put it straight over your head. That's full participation. Let me help you with this. I want you to make a commitment to yourself because I'm doing it, right? I mean, I just took a property for 1.2, sold it in 2 days. People, I still do it because I love it. Are you with me? Would this be a good thing for you to have in your arsenal? Something that puts you in accountability, yes or no? Okay, next page. Okay, now, if somebody in this room, okay, let's say Kevin does 7 properties for the month of July. Would you like to know what Kevin Hill did to get those 7 listings, yes or no? Then now what we're going to do, Scott, we're going to share it with everybody. So we'll give them, we'll go ahead and give you all the information where they did it. Are you with me on that? Okay, we'll go to the next page. Okay. Let's go ahead and show you quickly, okay, if you would. Go to the next page, okay? This is exactly what we're giving you. So the financial goals. Have we showed you? Let's show you here. What I know is this. And honestly, this will be good for you guys. I know that most realtors in this area are ADD. Okay? Do you know that? Know that? Staying focused. So do me a favor. I made the movies for only 3 minutes long. So it can take you, Kevin, you know this, 3 minutes. Donald, 3 minutes to watch it, and then get the information and do the activity. So let me show them how the system works, okay? And then I'm going to just show you a brief scenario. So do me a favor, get out of your cell phone, give me 90 seconds, and let's watch the movie. You ready? Here we go. Roll it. Go.
Welcome to online coaching. Today's lesson is on setting your financial goals. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with that very first step. And I know the difference between a dream and a goal is a plan. So we have 168 hours in any given work week. My goal is to help you to make 4 face-to-face presentations each and every week. Now let's think about that. Where do we find 4 presentations? If you go ahead and hand out your card, you are actually approaching people and letting them know that you're in the business. You're placing your ads on social media, and you're building a funnel to attract people to call you. In addition to that, you're having open houses, and you're also talking to everybody and using your sphere of influence and your referral-based marketing. I'm sure that each and every one of you can find 4 face-to-face presentations for buyers and or for sellers to make your presentations. So let's think about how we're going to do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to start approaching people, okay? You're going to walk up to them and you're going to say, hey, are you from this area? And they're going to say, sure. And then you're going to say, if you were going to buy or sell a piece of real estate, do you know a realtor you'd recommend? And shaking your head no, they're going to say, I don't think so, and you're going to exchange cards with them and let them know that you're a realtor, you're excited about helping them in their business and referring business, and you're looking for referrals back to you, putting them into your database and making them one of your clients. So you're building a business every day. Now, if you go and hand out your cards, and you place your ads on social media, build your funnel, and you go direct, I'm sure each and every one of you could find 4 face-to-face presentations to present to. Now, when